Okie dokie, let's try that everything works. Hi everybody, it's Riika Kovasen here, and today we're doing a card with different Finnabair mediums, kind of icy, snowy effect. I use several different products and talk about how you can create snow or ice textures. So hi everybody, just let me know that everything is okay. You can hear me and you can see me. I'm hoping everything is good. Fingers crossed. Hi Sharon, hi Anshul. We'll start when the clock is kind of precisely, well, 9 here, 9 p.m, but 2 in America, for example. Hi Rosa, hola, hi Doris. Thank you so much for joining. So, again, doing something like this today. I'm hoping that the dark background will help to keep focused on the card. So, let's see how it goes. Hi Maria, hello, hola. Sounds fine, perfect, thank you Renee. So good to know that you can hear me. So I use several different products, but I actually got some over there as well, because, well, while I got, let me count, 1, 2, 3, well, maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different kind of winter glimmery, snowy products in this card. I couldn't get all because, well, it's such a small space, like size. So there's a couple of more that you can use for winter projects, but I'm going to go through them during this show. So I started a bit early just to make sure that everything is okay. So you still have time to grab a cup of coffee or tea or some snacks, and soon we'll start. Hi Miranda. Thank you, Anshul. I can show you this one. In the meantime, we're kind of waiting, because one of the products I'm going to use is unicorn paste, and it's perfect for kind of, how do you say, galaxy, like outer space kind of feel, but also for snow effect, because it's just like shards of ice, so it's perfect for all different kinds. And as the base is a see-through one, so what you are left with, you're left with gorgeous shine and those kind of mica flakes that shimmer in all colors. So you can use it on top of black, but today we're using it on top of white, and like effect is totally different. Oh, this table. I have to be honest, it's not an actual table. This is like plastic foil, so it's a decorative foil. But I wanted to have something nice, because our, hi Satu, heippa Satu, our table is actually see-through. It's a glass table, so that wouldn't be a good thing. You could see my toes. That might be a bit disturbing. So there's a foil on top. But let's hope that this dark kind of background will work and it doesn't zoom in and out all the time. Brush. Do you mean this brush? Yeah, this is a fan brush, and I'm going to use this one when I'm adding mica to the card, because I find that this has a softer touch than the regular brushes, so I'm able to really get a delicate like coverage of the mica on top. And you can see the mica in here. It's actually stamped to the card, so I'll share a little trick how to use mica in stamping. I have no idea what the time is, because normally I use my phone to tell me the time. Hi Ariella! But no, I don't have the time here, so maybe just 1 more minute and then I'll start. Hi Heini! So I know there's 1:54. Thank you, Sharon. Good. 6 more minutes, but maybe I'll start up a little bit early, because the first thing is that I'm cutting some cardboard, and then, well, you know how to make that, so maybe I'll start a bit early today. So I know that there's a couple of Finns watching. Hi everybody! So let me just speak a few words in my native tongue. Heippa, kiitokset kaikille, jotka on tullut. Kommentteja voi laittaa suomeksi myöskin. Sharon tietenkin pystyy ehkä niitä mahdollisesti ton käännösohjelman kautta vetämään, mutta mä käyn kaikki kommentit sitten niin kun sen jälkeen, kun olen tehnyt tän niin läpi, jos on jotain kysyttävää. Eli ihan suomeksi. Toki mä pystyn jotain kattamaan tästä ruudustakin samalla, mutta kun mä oikein innostun, niin voi olla, että menee ohi. Mutta voi tosiaan laittaa suomeksi kommentit, kysymykset, niin katsotaan sitten shown jälkeen, jos sen heti huomaa. And the same in English, that if you have any questions or comments, just leave them. And I just told that Finnish people can leave them in Finnish, because I go through the comments after the show. But naturally you can use English, and then Sharon can help immediately. But if you have something that either you're writing in Finnish or something, then I'll go through the comments after the show. Hi Karina. Hi I'm sorry, I can't say your name correctly. Katarzyna? From Poland anyway. Hi, sorry. So maybe we'll just start, because like I said, the first part is just cutting. So even if you're here directly at 9 in Finnish time, then you haven't missed much. So let's start. I'm going to use just a pink kind of cardboard for the frame in a way, and then Dulce, because even though this is carnival and this has like cupcakes, but the pastels are really hot right now in Christmas decor as well. At least a Finnish company called Veistä, which has been making Christmas decorations for years and years, has a line of pastel decorations this year as well. So I thought that, for example, this paper fits nicely to Christmas as well, because it's almost like ice. So let's trim this one. The card base I'm using, it's just regular white card base, 10.5 by 15 centimeters. So let's move those and start trimming. So Finland, yes, I'm from Finland. Helsinki is the city I'm living right now, but I was born and raised in Turku, a coastal city. So about 10-ish. Maybe 14.5. So there's a little bit of the white kind of edge as well, and then as that was 10, or then, no, come on, let me think, 9.5, times 14. Let's see how that feels. Moikka Andra. Oh, it's lovely. Finnish is not the easiest language. I've like once took a peek for Finnish for Foreigners styled book, and I'm so happy that it's my native tongue, because otherwise I couldn't do it. There's a lot of exceptions to rules. So like this, as you can see, I'm not that much like measuring anything when I graft. The only time I use some kind of measurements is when I'm doing this, like a matting. Then I have to have some kind of idea about the size. So I'm using a pink cardboard or cardstock piece and matting a piece of Dulce on top. Naturally, you could use more like a Christmas collection if you prefer those traditional red tones, or even green ones, or something blue, because the decorations coming on top are mostly white. Well, the roses, let me sorry, get this one here. The roses are pink, but naturally you could replace those with minty green or blue or even white. Do a totally white Christmas card. Oh, now it did. Come on, focus. Even the black won't work, it seems. Let me try. Hopefully I'm not going to get this. Well, let's hope it will come. So I get these papers here. Haha. No. Come on. Thank you. Sorry about that. Hi Liliana. So happy you could join. Thank you all for joining. It's a bit boring the start because I'm just cutting and mounting the papers, but soon we'll get going, and it seems that the hospital helicopter is flying nearby, but let's not be bothered with that. Yeah, so now I have the base. Naturally you could use just one of the papers and mount it afterwards, but as I now have 3 layers of cardstock, and I'm going to use gesso on top. It's not the wettest medium, but it's a wet medium anyway, so the 3 layers of cardstock hold the moisture better and stop the paper from warping better than just 1 layer. But it's up to you. You can use just 1 layer if you want to. To me, it's not a big deal if I get gesso on top of every kind of layer, or just 1. On top, I'm adding white gesso, which is the first medium to create a snowy effect, and that's really easy medium, as you can just paint it or use a silicone brush like I'm doing, and immediately you get that kind of a wintry feel, snowy. Then you can cover it up with some glitter, for example, if you want to shine, but that's the easiest way. And if you add splashes, like I'm going to do in a while, then you'll get also the kind of snowflake idea. As gesso is acrylic based medium, so it's kind of, or this Finnabair gesso is acrylic based, so it also adheres. So I'm not using any special glue underneath my doily, or half of a doily, but just adding it on top. In the finished card, you can't actually even see the doily anymore because I then layered so much on top, but it's kind of giving me, well, there's a little peek of that. It's kind of giving me an idea where to concentrate my composition on top. And then let's make those splashes. There is kind of snowy feel already in the Dulce paper because it has those little sparks. But I'm just using a thinned version of gesso and then adding some splashes, so it's kind of giving that snowy feel, snowstorm. Here in the south we don't have snow just yet. Hopefully during the winter we do, but in the northern Finland there's already snow in the ground. Here we go. Kind of first snowy feel. Then I need to really dry this one, so sorry about the noise. Okay, hopefully it's now dried. If I would do this like without the live part, now I would keep a little break, maybe make some tea or something, because this really needs to be dry for the next step to work perfectly. Because the next step is adding mica on top, and mica will stick to anything that's sticky or wet. So if you have like wet gesso underneath there, mica will stick to that as well, and not only to the stamped image, which is kind of my goal. So what I'm now using is embossing ink or watermark ink, any kind of see-through sticky ink will do the trick. If you have like a slow drying colored ink, that's also okay, but it might change the color of the mica. So transparent sticky ink is the best, because then the actual color of the mica will be what you see. So there's not much you can see at the moment, but there will be when I add the mica on top. I chose the Opal Magic versions for this one because they have the kind of quality of snowy, because they, on pale surfaces, they look just a teeny tiny touch of opal and shine. This one is the gold Opal Magic, but on top of black it's a different story. Naturally you could use something silvery as well, or even a color if you want to, because the shine of the mica is really beautiful. But this kind of just gives the idea of a hint of shine, that kind of snowy feel. So as you can see now, you can see it and now you can't. This kind of effect is really like, well, there's something surprising in the card, because when you first see it you might not notice the mica, and when you hold the card on your hands and are able to kind of see how the light reflects of it, then it makes another little surprise and another little effect. So I just brushed the mica on top using a really soft brush. If you have a really rigid brush and you really like use a lot of force, you might actually pull the transparent ink away from the stamped image, and then you don't have a perfect stamping image anymore. Hi Nettan! Yeah, I'll do one live a month, so I should be here every month, different days, but here. Okay, then this was like number 2 of wintry mediums. Next one, let's see if my cutout stencil, yes, this will work. This is from the stencil roll, which is so handy. I hope you have tried these already. This one is called Tea Roses, I think. So I've put the stencil down, and this one is the 3rd medium to create kind of snowy effect. Paper texture paste. It's like, it's not warm snow, but you know that it's not below, it's not minus degrees, it's a bit warmer, and like the snowy gets, well, in Finnish we would say nuoska, so something you can make the snowmen out of or build castles, that kind of snow. The paper texture paste reminds me of that, so it's not that powdery snow that, for example, mica kind of resembles, but it's the other kind of snow. And now I'm adding kind of another set of roses. Why I chose roses for a wintry card is because of the kind of paisley inspired, those lovely flower kind of decorations you get on the windows when it's like minus degrees outside. So to me those resemble paisley or kind of even roses. So now I'm just peeling the stencil away and have a lovely pattern with the paper texture paste. Again, 3rd kind of product for wintry feel. Then comes the gorgeous unicorn paste. This one is so lovely. Like I showed, I'll show you again, because in this card we're using it on top of a light background, and it gives this kind of shine here, like those little shards of ice, or like the snowflakes glistening, but on top of black surface, for example, here you can get that kind of cosmic or out of space feel with it, because the base is see-through and then there's just glitter and gorgeous mica flakes on top. So it's really a gorgeous product which you can then incorporate in your own style, whether it's black or white or something in between. So I'm adding a little bit of paste just kind of underneath here, and then let's, after that, let it dry for a while I use the gesso to cover the butterfly. So just randomly adding it with a silicone brush to the card. Oh, sorry, now it's again, sorry. Let me show you like this. So there's the pattern, and now I just smeared kind of the paste on top, giving that glistening snow effect. Move cover down. I guess it was just a focus thing, but just let me know if it's still not working, because now it seems focused to me. But let's just paint one of the butterflies, because, well, here it is. But putting a dark butterfly on top of white, that's a bit of a hard contrast. So let's turn again. Come on. We can only see jars. Looks fine. Okay, some are seeing just jars and some are seeing everything, so I'm not sure what to do. Might it be a Facebook thing? Just give me a shout if it's not working, because I can move, for example, the butterfly now here. Card I can't do in mid-air, but butterfly again. This is a bit boring stage, I know, sorry about that, but the card needs a little bit of drying time. Naturally, I can use and will probably use a heat tool, but then there's always a possibility to boil it, and that's not a good thing. Even though the gesso is highly pigmented on top of this dark surface and with a wet brush, I need a couple of coats to make it white. So let's do that. With the metal embellishments, it's handy to use a heat tool, because when the metal gets heated, the next layer will dry faster as well. And then just one more. Then we can get on with the card. I'm sorry about the focus keeping up and down, even though I tried to hinder it with the black background. So here we go, white butterfly. Again, if you would like to have bluish tones, you could even use blue impasto paint on this step. Or other option is that you could now paint it with metallic paints, for example some kind of baby blue tone. So now we have the butterfly, and we hopefully have, well, maybe I'll just give it a, hi Diana, really quick dry. Hi Caroline, hi Lena. If you're just joining in, thank you so much for coming. We're doing, let me show you the sample one, a wintry card like this. The paper here is from the Dulce line, and then I'm using different kind of Finnabair products to get that snowy or icy feel. There's white gesso underneath everything. Then there's paper texture paste, mica powder, and unicorn paste at the moment. And I also used white gesso to color my butterfly from really dark into this lighter version. Now I glued the butterfly in, and then let's use some cheesecloth. Now I have gesso on my fingers, so it's sticking to my fingers. When you use something delicate like cheesecloth or just twine, it's handy to have wet mediums underneath, because then you can just stick it to those mediums without having to adhere it totally, because if you add glue all over, or even like a gel medium all over, you kind of lose that fluffiness, that softness it has. So now that the paper texture paste is still wet, I can just stick it in there and it will stay because it's so light. Naturally, I wouldn't use those mediums to adhere, metal embellishments, for example. Then let's take a couple of flowers. These are from Dulce, so they will fit to the palette perfectly. No green leaves for winter card. So maybe that one goes there. And that one goes here. Yeah, let's adhere those. You can use either craft glue or then gel medium, but gel medium at this stage is maybe a bit of an overkill, because these Prima flowers are so delicate, so they will stick with a regular craft glue. Hi Michelle! Thank you for joining from New Zealand. There's people all over. I'm so happy. If you have any questions, just fire away. And then some smaller flowers. There's like now a bigger flower on each side, and then I use the smaller ones kind of fill up the composition. And this is something I always do with my flowers. I malhandle them in a way. So as they are packaged and there's a really big amount of them, like a bunch of flowers, they get a bit flattened with the shipping and everything. But it's really easy to get them all fluffy again when you just crumble them just a little bit. So then they are again dimensional. A card like this is perfect for like to be actually given to a person, not sent, because if you send something like this, you need actually a parcel or some kind of box to send it, because it's so dimensional. Every now and then I try to make kind of a flat card, but that doesn't usually end up well, because then in the finish line I add something dimensional and it's not flat then. It's kind of a rule of third, or like odd numbers, so there's one on each side and side. Sorry, English is not my native tongue. So, and then 3 of the smaller ones. And then to add it more wintry, because now it's all flowery, I'll use one of the snowflake charms from Christmas in the Country, and from the same collection, the small wreath. How do you spell it? How say it? Seems that it's no. The ends are not sticking to each other anymore. Something has happened in the mailing, but no worries, because I'll add the saying on top anyway, so I can hide it. And this one needs a really handy amount of glue. With this you could actually use gel medium if you want to make it easy on yourself. And as this is a charm, I'm adding the drop of glue to the end and then just sticking it kind of underneath the rose so it doesn't look like a charm that much anymore. Then let's get back to the wintry products, because now the composition is more or less done, because there's still a couple of ideas coming. If you want more shine to your card, I used paper texture paste, but if you want more shine, then this one would be a perfect fit. Icing paste, and the color is Frosty Pearl, well, frosty. So if you want even more shine than this one, then replacing the paper texture paste with the icing paste is an option. Or if you're doing a bigger project for a sample canvas, you can play with shine and matte, because the paper texture paste is matte like gesso, and then you have mica and the unicorn paste and possibly the icing paste as shiny elements. So if you have a bigger space, then you can really play with the different effects. But another wintry product I was able to add to my little card are these diamond art stones and the diamond versions, because these are like little droplets of ice. Again, I'm kind of following the composition I have going on. It's in a way like an envelope or an arch kind of shape, but also a kind of linear with the butterfly underneath everything. Then adding a couple of rhinestones, or these crystals, here and there. The smaller sizes are maybe better for a card like this. Let's add one there. Here we go. Where did I put the cup? Hi Laura, thank you for joining. We are making a wintry card today with different snowy or icy mediums from the Finnabair line. So a couple of more touches. I'll try if I can use a brush instead of a silicone brush at this stage, because, well, the glue hasn't dried yet. So now I'm adding, because there's the unicorn paste underneath everything, and now I'm adding a little bit of that frosty kind of icy shine on top. So I'm using just a brush and kind of getting some of it to my brush, the paste, and then applying it here and there to get those icy particles on there. Then two more steps and we are done. But let me bring these forward. Another icy kind of product are the crystal colored beads, which are available in 3 different sizes. There's the normal size, there's the bigger size, and there's the teeny tiny size. And they are like, again, little pieces of ice when you add them to a project. You could use the white glitter from the ebony and ivory set as well, just like a little glistening snow on top. But if you want more texture, these pearls are really easy way to do it. Like in the layout I did previously, I think that was the previous one, where I added different, but these are like such an easy little trick to add texture. And if you use the crystal version, you are not bringing any new colors to your project, but more like echoing the ones that are already there because they are transparent, and pick up the color from underneath, or in this case resemble snow or ice. I'm using the soft gloss gel underneath for the pearls to stick onto, and going from the biggest grain size to the smallest. So first the 3mm beads, I'm just sprinkling them here. There might be some extra, but it's best to leave it dry for a while, especially with the 3mm beads, because I'm not sure if you can pick them up, but it's well, the grain size is so big, but they are a bit heavy, so it's better for them to adhere thoroughly before you kind of tip project over. Then it's the regular glass bead size, just sprinkling it here. If there's any kind of mediums that are still wet, they will stick there. Oops, not this jar, this one. And then finishing it off with the teeny tiny ones. And as you go from the biggest to the smallest, where there's room still between those bigger beads, the small ones will stick there. And if you want, you could now even add a glitter on top, because then that will stick to any place that's even too small for the teeny tiny pearls to stick onto. Let me show you from the finished card those pearls, hopefully. Yeah, there we go. As you can see, they don't bring any new color to the project, but give that kind of icy feel with the different grain sizes, so it's like little shards of ice. Then the only difference between this card and this card is the greeting, which I actually used my mom's old typewriter to make. Then I'm cutting it to a small banner, just a little triangle off from the edge and from the other one as well. Then I'm using my fingers or nails to kind of soften the paper a little bit so I can get it warped, and then I'll just glue it on top of the teeny tiny wreath. I'm not sure how to say it, sorry. Teeny tiny thingy I can say. Again, a bit more, it's in the wrong place, so maybe I'll just put the glue here. With this embellishment, you really need a bit heavier hand, like glue, than with anything else, even though it's really light, but the fuzzy kind of effect on the embellishments makes it harder for it to stick. So using gel medium for this one isn't an overkill, whereas for the delicate flowers it might be. But there we go. It's my winter card with different Finnabair mediums to get an icy, snowy effect. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you, Sharon, for modding. If you have any questions, just type them in and I'll start going through them after I close all the jars so they don't dry up. But if you have any kind of questions or any suggestions for another live show, or if there's something you would like to learn more, then let me know. Thank you for joining, and a few words in Finnish for the end. Kiitos kaikille, jotka tulitte. Jos on mitään kysyttävää, niin ei muuta kuin kommenttia tulemaan. Toiveita saa aina laittaa. Ja tosiaan hyvää illanjatkoa. Kiitos kun tulitte. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you. If you like make something of your own inspired by this, please tag me. I would love to see what you make. So, thank you. Have a nice day. Bye bye.